Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. We have been learning the chapter Biological Classification, that is the second chapter in our textbook. So we discussed Fickenbach classification by Whittaker. Whittaker grouped all prokaryotic unicellular organisms in the category of Monera. In the previous video we discussed the characteristics, that is they are actually having cell wall may or may not present, cellular level of organization, they can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. All these characters are there for prokaryotes. So this prokaryotes group, that is Monera, includes mainly bacteria. In that again cyanobacteria or blue-green algae are included. Then mycoplasma, which is the smallest living organism, EPLO, pleuropneumonia-like organisms, all these are present. Of this, we know mycoplasma does not have cell wall. That's why we don't generalize Monerans have cell wall, except mycoplasma, rest all have cell wall. Now coming to the bacteria, they are the most abundant microorganisms in the world. That means if you see bacteria, they can live in any kind of habitats, starting from normal condition to the extreme conditions where no other organism can survive. For example, they are also found in hot springs where the temperature is almost 100 degrees Celsius. They can be found deep under ocean where light is not available or photosynthesis is not possible. They are also found in snow layers, and everywhere they can be present irrespective of the condition. This is because of their cell wall nature. Now they are showing a lot of metabolic diversity also. Their body is very simple, but their behavior is very complex. So if you classify bacteria based on their shape, we have 4 types of bacteria. First is coccus, second is bacillus, third is vibrio, fourth is spirilla. Now let's see their shape with a trick. That is, coccus is, you can see one O here, O is spherical. So this bacteria is spherical in shape. Whereas when you write bacillus here, 2 long L, they represent rod-like structures. Then spirillum, from the name itself we know that it is spiral shaped. Then the last is you can remember, comma shape. So coccus is spherical, bacillus is rod shaped, vibrio is comma shaped, and spirillum is spiral shaped. So these are the 4 types of bacteria classified based on their shape. Now coming to their body wall, you know that being a cell, it has got the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Then comes the next layer, this is the cell wall. Okay, we know that in plants the cell wall is made up of cellulose. In fungi it is made up of chitin. But here the cell wall made up of 2 materials, mainly peptidoglycan and teichoic acid. This may vary in different adaptations, that is where they are living. Now coming to the third layer. So usually we have learned except an animal cell, this plant cells or the fungi, they have an additional cell wall also present. But here over the cell wall one more covering is there. What is that? That is called a glycocalyx. This glycocalyx can be of 2 different types. If it is a very tough covering, then we call it as capsule. At the same time, if it is a loose layer, it is called a slime layer. So depending on the nature, glycocalyx can be either capsule or slime layer. Okay, so it gives additional protection also to the bacteria. Apart from that, on the surface of the bacteria, there can be flagella. Flagella is plural, flagellum singular. That is long lash-like structures which help them to move. Then next step, Ili and a fimbriae may also be there. These 2 are small hair-like structures present on the surface of the body which will help them to attach to the substratum. They don't help in locomotion, but they help in attachment to the substratum. So we saw Monerans have the major group of organisms called bacteria. So they can be classified into archaebacteria and eubacteria. Archaebacteria means they are the most primitive bacteria. Primitive bacteria could have survived in very harsh climate where at the time of origin of life the conditions were not that favorable. So those bacteria which could survive in those extreme conditions are still surviving in some harsh habitats. They are the archaebacteria. But whereas in eubacteria, U stands for true. True bacteria means the normal bacteria that are found in the normal conditions. Now, if you look at the archaebacteria, they can be again three types depending on where they are found. For example, first is methanogens, second is halophiles, third is thermoacidophiles. Methanogens are present in the gut of the cattle. Like ruminant animals are there, like cow, buffalo, all these are ruminant cattle. They have a rumen in that, that is their chamber in the digestive system in the stomach. So this has got specialized bacteria called methanogens. Usually, when we eat plant materials, the plant cell, each cell consists of cellulose, but we are not able to digest that cellulose. But at the same time, these ruminant cattle can digest this cellulose because of the presence of this methanogens. So once that is digested, a gas called methane is produced. We know that methane is a very good source of fuel. So methanogens are the methane producing bacteria usually found in the gut of the ruminant animals, and since they are found in the gut, when they excrete the dung, it also has got lot of methanogens in it. That is why we use cow dung as the source of biogas or the gobar gas. Okay, now coming to the second type, that is called halophiles. Halophiles are the bacteria which are found in high saline areas, not in the seawater. Seawater salinity is affordable to other organisms like fish and other organisms can survive there. But there are certain areas where it is hypersalinity. Okay, so in that case, no other organism can survive because of the osmotic problem. But there are also some bacteria can survive. They are called halophiles. Now the third bacteria are found in the hot sulfur springs where no other organism can exist because the temperature is very high. There also bacteria can exist. They are called thermoacidophiles. So methanogens means methane producing bacteria in the gut of the ruminant animals. Then second is halophiles, they live in high saline condition, and third is thermoacidophiles which can live in very sulfur hot springs. Peptidoglycan is absent in the cell wall of the archaebacteria. That's why they can adapt to different climatic conditions or harsh habitats. Now, eubacteria or the normal true bacteria, they are classified again into two, bacteria and cyanobacteria. So, bacteria normally, all the bacteria coming under the category that we think about, normal bacteria are in this, whereas cyanobacteria is otherwise called a blue-green algae. So, from that name itself, we know they are autotrophic or they can do photosynthesis. When we come to eubacteria are having a rigid cell wall and also they have flagellum if they are motile. But whereas cyanobacteria, when we talk about, they are otherwise called a blue-green algae. They have chlorophyll A present in them which can help in photosynthesis, and they are unicellular. But even though they are unicellular, we know prokaryotes are all unicellular. Even though they are unicellular, they are connected together to form filamentous structure or they form colonies. This filament is covered by a gelatinous sheath. Now, these can form blooms in water bodies, means rapid multiplication of these algae or this cyanobacteria can cover the entire surface of the water, that is called the algal bloom. Then they can fix nitrogen also, that is examples are Anabina and Nosto are examples of cyanobacteria which can fix nitrogen. How can they fix nitrogen? With the help of a specialized cell called a heterocyst. Heterocyst has a thick wall, it will help them to fix atmospheric nitrogen. While coming to the mode of nutrition, bacteria can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Autotrophic bacteria can be chemoautotrophic or photoautotrophic. Chemoautotrophic are basically nitrifying bacteria. They usually oxidize the inorganic substances like nitrites, nitrates and ammonia, and they release the energy for the production of ATP. Whereas when we come to photoautotrophic bacteria, means they prepare their food in the presence of light. They can be purple bacteria or green sulfur bacteria. But majority of bacteria fall into the category of heterotrophic bacteria. The heterotrophs are basically the ones which are the decomposers on earth. They can be saprotrophic, means feeding on dead and decomposed matter, or basically the decomposers, and some can be symbiotic. Symbiotic means it's a mutualistic association with another species. So example, rhizobium, we are all familiar with that. They are the bacteria found in the root nodules of leguminous plants, and they can fix atmospheric nitrogen. So that is a symbiotic association between the leguminous plants and the bacteria. At the same time, with the non-leguminous plants, there is another symbiotic bacteria called Frankia. Now coming to third type, they are parasitic, means they live on the body of the host organisms and derive nutrition from this. Example is Vibrio. And we know different bacterial diseases like typhoid, cholera, anthrax, and citrus canker is a bacterial disease which can be caused by bacteria in plants. Reproduction, when we talk about, they basically undergo fission or binary fission to multiply, that is their growth as well as reproduction. When the conditions are unfavorable, they may produce spores also, but some bacteria have primitive type of sexual reproduction also, where the genetic materials can be transferred between bacteria. Now another member of Monerans is a Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma are the smallest living cells known, and unlike bacteria, they do not have a cell wall. So the Monerans without cell wall is Mycoplasma. And since the cell wall is not there, or the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, usually to kill bacteria, we are administering antibiotics which will be affecting the cell wall formation pathway. But here, since cell wall is not there, they have high antibiotic resistance. They cause diseases like a walking pneumonia. And previously these Mycoplasma were called a PPLO, pleuropneumonia-like organisms. They can either live as saprotrophs or they can live as parasites causing diseases to plants and animals. Another unique feature is they can live without oxygen. Hope all these concepts are clear for you. In the next video, we will learn about Protista. If you like my videos, share with your friends and subscribe to my channel, Biology My Passion. Thank you for watching.